Hey Jamie, this is Yuri. I wanted to make this video to kind of go over some of the questions that from your previous homework assignment, and I want to start off this video by going over question number 21. So on question number 21, I believe that this was the original question, and I recall that the answer that was marked right from what you had written down was this. So I think you told me that you went to maybe one of your friends, and your friends had that as an answer, and that was marked right. And and then I guess this was the answer that I had told you to put down. Um, First of all, I've one of the reasons why I had a very hard time solving this problem during the Turing session was because this answer, I'm 100% convinced that it's wrong, and I'll try to, you know, explain why very quickly. But if you take this original question here, and if you put this into your calculator, this original question, and I've shown the calculation steps over here on the side here. If you go to your calculator or any calculator and put that in, you get an answer of 0.16399 and a bunch of other things. And if you put this answer, then this answer here, your friend's answer, if you put that into your calculator, which I have over here, you get 0.03156 and a bunch of other decimal places there. So right away that tells me that this answer here that I'm highlighting and or circling in red, it's actually not right. Okay, so you can definitely try this with your calculator at home as well. You can put both of these expressions into your calculator, and if it's correct, you should get the same decimal answers, and you don't. So I'm pretty sure that this answer that your friend gave you wasn't right, and I thought about how they got this answer, and basically this is what I think they did. Okay, so if this is your original question, the fourth root of 5 divided by 4 times the fourth root of 27, to me it looks like what they're doing is they're timesing the numerator and the denominator by the fourth root of 27, but they're only doing this once, and mathematically that does not work if you have a higher root like a fourth root. If the question didn't have this fourth root, then this method would definitely work. You can times the top and bottom by, your radical right here if there was no fourth root. But this question, there is a fourth root, and you simply just cannot times the top and the top and the bottom by just one power of one fourth root 27. You need to continue, and you need to multiply it by 3 more times. This is something that you did mention in the lessons. If you have a fourth root like this in the original case here, you need to multiply the fourth root by itself 3 more times in order to get rid of that fourth root. But anyways, let me just kind of go back here and just kind of do this right here. But it seems like your friend just multiplied the top and bottom by the fourth root just one time, and what they're doing here is they just put the fourth root out there, and then they did 5 times 27, all divided by 4, and this 4 right here in green is this 4 right there, and somehow your friend just thought that if you take this expression here highlighting in blue and that highlighting in blue, I think your friend was just thinking that it's just 27, but that's actually wrong. And that's how they got this fourth root of 135 over 108, which is this answer right there. And yeah, I have to say that that answer is indeed wrong. So you might want to talk to your teacher on why that answer was marked right, or how to get the final answer. Anyways, just deleting all this, let's get back to the answer that I gave you. So I believe this is the answer that you had written down, and I do want to say that this answer here in blue that I'm kind of putting arrows towards, if you do put that in your calculator, you do indeed get this answer here, this 0.1639, which is indeed the answer over there. So I confirmed this with a calculator, and I know that this answer here does work out mathematically with your calculator. Now the only other concern I have right now is how much does your teacher want this thing simplified? All right, so technically the denominator, there are no radicals on the denominator, so will your teacher accept this answer, or does your teacher want you to go ahead and simplify the numerator a bit more? You can definitely simplify this question more. So yes, you could definitely simplify the numerator a bit more. So let me just kind of go into another way that you can simplify the numerator here. This is going to be a 98,415. And if you want to simplify this, this does take a fair bit of, a little bit of work, and you know, there's not a whole lot of room on your worksheet to do this, but in order to kind of simplify this, you need to find two numbers that multiply together to get 98,415. And notice that this last number, there's a 5 here, so you can actually break that down by, you can actually divide it by 5 first. So there's a 5 here, and if you take that number divided by 5, you get 19,683. Okay, so this next number right here, this 19,683, you need to continue and break that number down into a smaller number. And I noticed that, you know, you have a 3 there, so I'm just going to divide this by 3. And if you use your calculator and divide by 3, you get 6,561. I will continue and divide this by 3. And if I divide by 3, I get 2,187. And then we can go ahead and divide that by 3. So I remember we were kind of doing this in the lesson, but we didn't go ahead and break this down any further because there wasn't a whole lot of room here. So 9 times 81 will give you 729. And then you want to go ahead and break that down to 3 and 3. 81 is 9 and 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 is 3 and 3. 9 is 3 and 3. Okay, so let me just kind of, hold on, let me just kind of zoom out. Okay, so there's my tree diagram once you kind of factor, this 98,415. Once you break that down, you have all these prime numbers now. So this 4 right here, that 4 right here tells you you need to find a group of 4 of the same numbers. So here's a 3, here's a 3, here's a 3, and there's a 3. So these 3s that I'm highlighting in blue, they're all the same, and there's 4 of them. So once you kind of combine all those 4 3s can come out to be 1 3. And then I have another 3 here, another 3 there, another 3 there, and another 3 there, another group of 4 3s. So I can put that 3 on the outside. So that represents 1 3, and this is the other blue 3. And then, Jamie, you just have a 5 here and a 3 left over, so that will remain back into your radical sign. So 5 times 3 there, and you want to put your 4th sign there. So if you simplify this a little bit further here, 3 times 3, that's going to be 9, and this is going to be the 4th root of 15. Okay, so that's something that you probably did in your grade 10 class. So going back, if you want to simplify this, you can simplify that into that, and then you can also just divide by the original 108. And if you go ahead and do that, you know, this is more of a simplified answer here, and then you could finish off by just simplifying the 9 and the 108, and that's going to be the 4th root of 15 divided by 12. So if you want to simplify this to the very end, I mean, this would be an acceptable answer here. And just give me 1 second, please. And Jamie, I've actually put this into my calculator now, and that does indeed match up with the original question. So this is also an acceptable answer. I confirmed that with my calculator. So going back to this question here, once again, I just want to say that this answer that your friend had is 100% not correct. And although the answer that I gave you here is correct, I don't know how much more your teacher wants to simplify. If you do want to simplify this to the very end, you do need to do like a tree diagram here. You have to do all of that and then kind of go to that step and then simplify one more time. So it's a fair bit of work, but once again, it really depends on how much work your teacher wants you to do. And it didn't seem like your teacher gave you a lot of room on that worksheet. So but anyways, you might want to talk to your teacher on why this was marked right, because I I'm 100% convinced that's not the correct way to do it. Okay, let's go to question number 19 now. This is question number 19. And in this question, I believe this was the question that was given to you. And I believe for question 19, this was the answer that you had written down from one of your friends, which was marked right. And once again, I want to say that this is actually wrong again. So one of the reasons why I was really struggling in the lesson in the Turing lesson today on how this answer was right, it's actually not right. So if you going back to the original question with these blue arrowheads here, if you put this expression into your calculator, you get 0.13841454888. And if you put this expression into your calculator, and I tried this a few times already, you get a totally different answer here, like a 0.96225. Sorry, I put that expression into your calculator there, and they don't match. So there's no way that could be the right answer. And you know, Jamie, I did play around with this a bit, and I realized that the way your friend got, you know, this expression right here, they did a lot of wrong math. They were timesing the top and bottom by I guess they were timesing the top and bottom by a bunch of wrong answers, because sorry, if this is your original question, sorry, my writing is not very neat. If this is your original question, it really seemed like they were timesing the top and bottom by, first they were timesing by this 162. I guess that they just saw, you know, this radical sign, so they assumed to times it by itself. And then for some reason it seemed like they also timesed by a cube root, a fifth root of 3. Like, I think they just may have seen that 3 and they thought, okay, I should times by something like that. And so they times the top by this. And then it's really funny. It's like they saw this 3 and they decided to times the top by that 3 again, which I don't know why they did that. But it's funny, if you actually take all these expressions right here, and if you multiply them together, you actually do indeed get that expression there. And technically, it's actually not the way you do it, and it is wrong. So I'm sorry for being rude and being mean like that, but I was really struggling to figure out how this answer came about, and I realized that what they were doing, they were just kind of multiplying a bunch of numbers that didn't really make any mathematical sense. But anyways, I can say with confidence that this answer right here is indeed not correct. Now, I want to go back to the answer that I gave you. So this was your original question. Okay, so one way that we kind of approached the question was, we looked at that expression right there, and I said, let's just use one of the radical properties that was given in your notes. Let's just write that as one big radical at 2 divided by 162, and let's just put that 3 on the side for now. But if you go ahead and simplify this, 2 divided by 162, using my calculator here on the side here, that's going to be 1 over 81. And you can write that as the fifth root of 1 over the fifth root of 81. And the fifth root of 1, that's simply going to be 1 divided by the fifth root of 81. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our 3 back here and just put the 3 there. So, you know, this is simplified, but I guess your teacher wanted you to get rid of this radical sign there. And the way you get rid of that is you need to times by the radical sign 4 more times. So the fifth root of 81 times the fifth root of 81 times the fifth root of 81 times the fifth root of 81 Okay, so since there's a 5 here, you need to have a total of 5 radical signs of index 5. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the 5th one. And if you actually go to your calculator and if you actually multiply all that together, you do indeed just get an 81. So this would be 1 divided by 3 times 81. Now, if you times the denominator by all these expressions here, you must times the numerator by the same thing. Alright, there's 4 of those guys. So that means the numerator here, I'm going to just delete this now, and the numerator here would be the 5th root of 81, and you have 4 of them, so let's put that to the power of 4. And 3 times 81 on the denominator here, if I finish that off, that's going to be, hold on, let me just put this in my calculator here, 3 times 81 is going to be 243. Okay, so just 1 second, please. Let me just put this in my calculator one more time and just confirm with confidence here that this does indeed work out to be the right answer here. So to the power of 4 divided by 243. And yes, if you put this into your calculator, you do get the original question, so this is indeed a right answer. But once again, I don't know how much your teacher wants you to simplify this. Will they accept this, or do they want you to go right to the very end and do some more simplification? So you might want to ask your teacher on if they want you to really go into great detail about simplifying this, because when I looked at your notes, your teacher really didn't go into a lot of great examples when you do have a higher index power. Okay, so if you have a 5th root or a 4th root, there weren't a lot of great examples. There weren't any examples at all that your teacher went over, so you might want to ask your teacher how much of this do you want to really simplify. And Jamie, also, I would also ask your teacher how to simplify question number 25, the very last question. I know she circled a minus sign in there, and you know, I worked on that problem on the side again, and I don't see any like wrong mathematical steps. But once again, I don't know how much they want you to simplify, because yeah, just ask her how much they want to simplify that and make sure she wasn't marking anything wrong, because after looking at question number 19 and 21, clearly there were some questions that were marked right when they were marked wrong from your friend's side. So just please ask her how much simplification is really required. Okay, so that's all for now. I apologize that my rating here on the computer is not that great, but I hope this kind of helps you kind of ask your, I hope this kind of provides some direction into where you can ask your teacher on where on how much simplification is required in these questions. All right, we'll see you next time.